Welcome to the Registry Resources and Website Navigation webinar. The Registry of Charitable Trusts, referred to as the Registry, has assembled a vast array of useful resources that have been designed to assist charitable organizations and members of the public. These resources are available on the Registry's website. The charity's homepage is located at oag.ca.gov/charities. This presentation will review these resources and provide tips for successful site navigation. The charity's web pages contain information by organization type, status with the registry, or type of resource available. The main categories are in the navigation menu on the right side of each charity's related page. The resources are right below the page title and include downloadable guides, webinars, laws and regulations, forms, frequently asked questions, and contact forms. The Charities section of the navigation menu lists the registry programs associated with charity registration and reporting. These areas correspond with the registration status of a charity, beginning with initial registration and ending with dissolution. Each program area contains links to required forms, submission instructions, webinar content, relevant laws and regulations, and frequently asked questions. Let's go over the various programs listed on the sidebar. The first program is raffles. Raffles may be conducted by a nonprofit provided they register and report properly. The nonprofit raffle section covers registration and reporting requirements, laws and regulations, webinar content, and frequently asked questions specific to nonprofits that wish to conduct legal raffles. The next program is professional fundraisers, which helps charitable entities achieve their mission. The three types of professional fundraisers are covered in the professional fundraisers section: commercial fundraisers, fundraising councils, and commercial co-ventures. This section also includes resource information pertaining to crowdfunding, professional fundraising reports, webinar content, forms, frequently asked questions, and relevant laws and regulations. The Nonprofit Health Facility Transaction Notices section lists notices of any sale or transfer of a healthcare facility owned or operated by a nonprofit corporation. This section also contains relevant laws and regulations. The Resources and Tools section contains targeted information and resources. These include a search tool for looking up registrants within the registry's database. This section also includes registry forms, laws and regulations, contact links, publications, and reports. Additionally, you can find probate and ex parte notices, public notices, and government and research links. The final section in the right margin is for complaints from the general public. This section contains information about how to file a complaint against a charity, professional fundraiser, or other entity under the purview of the Attorney General. This section also includes the downloadable complaint form and frequently asked questions. Moving back up to the top of the navigation menu, every charitable corporation, unincorporated association, charitable trustee, and other legal entities holding property for charitable purposes must file with the Attorney General an initial registration form and other documents required by law. Under Government Code Section 12585, initial registration must be filed within 30 days of first receiving charitable assets. Registrants must register by filing Form CT1 with the applicable fee, along with their founding documents, current bylaws, IRS determination letter, and application for recognition of exemption. This section provides all of the forms, instructions, and resources that will assist a newly formed charity with completing their initial registration submission package. Every charitable corporation, unincorporated association, and trustee doing business or holding property in California is required to annually renew its registration with the registry. Registrants must report annually by filing Form RRF1 with the applicable renewal fee, along with either IRS Form 990EZ or PF, or new Form CT-TR1. This section provides all of the forms, instructions, and resources that will assist a newly formed charity with completing their annual reporting submission package. In addition to standard resources, this section also provides access and usage instructions on how to utilize the registry's online renewal system. This option can be an efficient and quick submission option. When a registrant fails to submit complete filings for each fiscal year, its status with the registry will be listed as delinquent. If the delinquency is not cured by the submission of missing documents, the registry status will be further changed to suspended or revoked. A charitable organization that is not in good standing with the registry may not operate or solicit donations in California. This section provides all of the forms, instructions, and resources to assist a charity that has a delinquent, suspended, or revoked status with the necessary steps to regain their good standing and current status. A California nonprofit corporation that decides to stop operating and wind up operations must take certain steps. In California, the procedures to voluntarily wind up operations are called dissolution of the nonprofit corporation. Dissolution can be accomplished by either filing an action with the Superior Court or by complying with voluntary dissolution procedures. This section provides all of the forms, instructions, and resources that will assist a charity to dissolve. In California, charities and certain other private nonprofit organizations may conduct raffles to raise funds for beneficial or charitable purposes in the state. Unless specifically exempted, a nonprofit organization must register with the Attorney General's Registry of Charitable Trusts before the raffle and must also file an aggregate financial disclosure report for all raffles held during the reporting year. This section provides all of the forms, instructions, and resources that will assist a charity to register and report for annual raffle events conducted. Charities may use various professional fundraisers to solicit donations. Professional fundraisers may include commercial fundraisers, fundraising councils, and commercial co-venturers. There are mandatory registration requirements and contract requirements for commercial fundraisers and fundraising councils that must be adhered to by both the charities and their respective fundraising professionals. This section provides all of the forms, instructions, and resources that will assist a charity or professional fundraiser to register and report for events conducted or services provided. In addition to our usual resources, this section also includes the annual summary report, which summarizes all of the financial disclosure reports filed by commercial fundraisers and commercial co-venturers. These reports list charities and their fundraisers and also provide valuable information on the percentage of revenue retained by the fundraisers. California law requires the Attorney General's review and consent for any sale or transfer of a healthcare facility owned or operated by a nonprofit corporation. This requirement applies to healthcare facilities that are licensed to provide 24-hour care, such as general acute care hospitals and skilled nursing facilities. This review process includes a public meeting and, when necessary, preparation of an independent healthcare impact statement to evaluate whether the transaction may create a significant effect on the availability or accessibility of healthcare services to the affected community. Members of the public, patients, employees, elected officials, healthcare and legal advocates, and hospital management are encouraged to submit written comments on transactions. Notice of transactions are listed below, including instructions on how to submit written comments to staff and information about a public meeting. The Registry Verification Search Tool allows you to search the registry's database and verify whether a charitable organization or fundraiser has complied with the Attorney General's registration and reporting requirements. You may also review and download records and public filings that a charitable organization or fundraiser has submitted to the registry. This includes copies of annual registration and renewal forms, such as Forms RRF1 and CTTR1, IRS Forms 990, raffle and professional fundraiser registrations and reports, correspondence between organizations and the registry, and other public documents and data that are in the registry's database. Information is retrieved from the database in real time, but data and statuses may change throughout the day as filings are processed. First, always use the latest version of whatever browser you will be using: Chrome, Safari, Edge, Firefox, etc. When looking up an organization, having exact information will produce the best results. For example, if you know the organization's state charity registration number, Secretary of State corporate number, or Franchise Tax Board entity ID, or their federal employer ID number, use one of those first. For the SOS, FTB number, and FEIN, only use numbers. Do not include any non-numeric characters such as dashes or letters, etc. For example, you should leave off any letters, such as letter C, that precedes the SOS or FTB number. When searching by FEIN, leave out the dash usually found between the first and second set of numbers. If you don't know any of these three, the search by organization name may be used. Name searches are not case-sensitive, and it is not necessary to type out the entire name. But if you shorten it too much, your search results may include more organizations than you are looking for. If you have a partial name or aren't sure of the name of a registrant, you may use an asterisk as a wildcard at the beginning, middle, and/or end of the text you want to search for. For example, searching for Get * registered will find any registrant with names that start with Get and end with Registered, with anything in between, including spaces and special characters. The initial search will take you to a page that shows the records found. Click on the name of the organization to open a new window or tab with the details and documents available for that record. For more information about the detailed content specific to a certain registration type or status, please also review the appropriate webinar listed on both the charity's homepage and the individual program pages. The Forms page provides links to the program web pages where all of the latest forms are available for download. Note that effective February 1, 2020, all forms for charity, raffle, and professional fundraiser registrants were updated. The latest version of each form is required for all filings. As a best practice, it is always advised to visit the appropriate program webpage and download the latest forms when ready to file or renew each year. Obsolete forms will be rejected to ensure use of the most recent and valid version. As a regulatory department, the Registry operates in accordance with all of the applicable laws and regulations. This page is a collection of links and frequently asked questions pertaining to charities, nonprofit raffles, nonprofit health facility transactions, healthcare districts, and the Nonprofit Integrity Act of 2004. The program web pages also have laws and regulations sections listing those that are specific to the type of organization. We encourage you to first review the links to the individual programs on the right side menu for charities, initial registration, etc., nonprofit raffles, professional fundraisers, and complaints. Each program has frequently asked questions which may address your question or provide a solution to your concern. If the answer to your question isn't found on the program pages, you may use the links on this web page or the one found on the program's web page to send your inquiry to the appropriate team. This page also contains the registry's mailing address and the phone number to the registry's phone tree. Note, the registry does not staff a call center. The call tree allows for messages to be left by the public, and as such, it is highly recommended to send inquiries using the contact forms. The publications page acts as a valuable resource for prospective donors, charities, professional fundraisers, and general members of the public. The reports page provides insightful information pertaining to charities and professional fundraisers. Included are downloadable lists of charity registrants based on their status with the registry, as well as annual professional fundraiser reports published by the registry. To provide notice to the Attorney General for probate matters that involve charitable gifts, the probate and ex parte page gives you information on the service address for these filings. The probate and ex parte notices are required to be mailed to the Attorney General's office in Sacramento, Charitable Trust Section, 1300 I Street, Sacramento, California, 95814-2919. In lieu of serving the notices to the Attorney General's Sacramento office, probate and ex parte notices and any questions regarding them may be directed to the supervising deputy's attorney general listed below by region. You may also use the contact form to send an email and attach any notice to be given to the attorney general if appropriate. The public notice page catalogs a sampling of recent matters that resulted in settlements, judgments, orders, and appeals. This list is not exhaustive and does not reflect all possible related matters pertaining to a particular charity. Please consult the verification system and perform a review of a charity to determine their status and what documents have been filed under their charity registration number. The Government and Research link page offers a starting point for individuals seeking assistance in establishing, operating, and managing nonprofit charitable organizations, as well as non-registry resources for researching such organizations. This is an informational resource only. A listing here is not an endorsement of the organization or its web content. Some of the resources include the Internal Revenue Service, the California Franchise Tax Board, the California Secretary of State, and the California Attorney General. In California, the Attorney General has primary responsibility for supervising charities, charitable trusts, and professional fundraisers that solicit donations on their behalf. The Attorney General's oversight involves protecting charitable assets and donations for their intended use, prohibiting deceptive or coercive charitable solicitations, and ensuring compliance with the charitable organization's governing documents, such as the Articles of Incorporation or trust documents. To this end, the Attorney General investigates charitable organizations and fundraisers and brings administrative and legal enforcement actions against them. The Attorney General encourages the public to file complaints regarding a charity or charitable solicitation using the complaint form, Form CT-9. This concludes the webinar. Thank you for listening.